Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is pretty much the same format as a PJ Chats video. The only difference is I'm not actually in my PJs. So I think I'll just title this a PJ Chats, but for some reason or another, today I just didn't feel like putting my PJs back on. And that's so out of character for me because usually the moment I have the idea, there's like no stopping me, but we're just gonna go with it. So today's topic is emotions. And this is something that I haven't really ever given much thought to or really talked about. I don't know, I just never thought about this would be a topic for PJ Chats, but I had this chat with my friend Jessie. We had like a really deep chat. It was like 1:30 in the morning, which is late for me, you know, grandma time. And I don't remember like what exactly we were talking about, but for some reason the tears just started to flow and I felt a little embarrassed, but at the same time, I could not hold it back, you know? And Jay said to me like, wow, you are really in tune with your emotions. And I was thinking like, what do you mean? And she said to me like, you know, most people try to hold back emotion, but you're just letting it go, which is amazing. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. For me personally, whenever I hold back how I'm feeling, I just feel like I'm a fraud, you know? Like, especially with crying. If I hold back my crying, which sometimes I do, and most of the time it doesn't work, but if I'm trying to hold back these tears because I'm worried what other people are going to think of me, I feel like I'm not being myself in the moment, like I'm not showing who I truly am, you know? So yeah, I thought this is something we definitely need to talk about. I made a list, like I got like a surge of inspiration, and I just have a bunch of things to chat with you about. So you know what, let's get our cups of tea or pot of tea or whatever, you know, is your fancy, and let's just get started. Okay, so first of all, I think we should talk about emotions and why do we suppress our emotions? You know, this is something that I, you know, again, never really gave much thought into until I realized that I always apologize for when I cry, like in front of Jessie, I apologized. Okay, why? Or we feel embarrassed, we like try to turn away from other people when we're having emotional times, or people try to turn away from us if they see someone crying. Like when I cried in the Avengers movie, I know I bring this up all the time, but like there were like these teenage boys sitting in front of me and they turned around, they looked at me and they're like, and they got up and left after the movie like as fast as they could, and I was like, well, okay. I get it, but at the same time though, why do we do this? I think it's mainly because we're worried what other people are gonna think, or we're worried about what other people are gonna say, or if they're not gonna agree with our emotions, or if they're gonna feel embarrassed to be around us. Like that all kind of relates. And it's a little weird to me to think that we are all in the human kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Like we are all in this world together, yet we hide our emotions from others. Now, I'm not saying that everybody in the world does this, because there are probably those specific few who just don't even care and just let it go, which I think that's really how we should all be living, because why are we hiding how we feel about something? Like, why is it so important for us to pent up all this emotion and hold in all these feelings? Because really what happens when we do that is we just explode. And it's like 100 times worse later down the line than it is in the moment, you know? I almost wonder, you know, like I've always blamed being emotional on like my hormones and my period and all this stuff. And now that I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I wonder, I mean, not saying that there isn't any emotion that goes along with the menstrual cycle, because there definitely is, but I wonder if I had just shown my emotions in the moment, if that pent up emotion would have been anywhere near as intense as it was. And you know, like that's just something that's like I have no idea. I have no idea. So that's something to keep in mind, because really I think we all know that it gets worse the more we hold it in, but still we do it. And it's like we have to be in the comfort of our own home alone, or you know, with specific people, but for my case, it's alone, to feel all this emotion. Now, how I get my emotion out normally is by watching TV and movies. And I've always thought like, oh, I love TV, I love movies, like I love the stories, I love being transported to a different place and yada, 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 you know? But a lot of people have asked me throughout the years, like, why do you like watch This Is Us and Grey's Anatomy when you cry every episode, you know, or close to every episode? Well, it's really almost every episode, who am I kidding? And I've never really known what my response was, except for being like, oh, well, I like it. And now that I've realized this, it's because it's like a therapy for me. It's like a therapy for me to get my emotions out in the open. Almost like a cleanse in a way. I don't know, but this just hit me. And I feel like I've unlocked the key to my brain. You know? Unlocked the key? No. Unlocked the safe in my brain? I don't know. These analogies are not very good, but you know, we're just gonna go with it. I'm honestly just kind of shocked that like none of this occurred to me before, and I've not been told this before, you know? Another thing that relates to this is, are you too emotional? What is too emotional? What does that really mean? Is it just that you let out your feelings and your opinions and like, you know, don't hold it in so much? Kind of tying to that is the whole idea of being too enthusiastic. I feel like when I was younger, I was so excited and so enthusiastic, but people kind of were like backing away from that, like, whoa, this chick is cray. So over the years, like I've toned down my excitement. So like in public, if somebody says something like, oh, let's just say like, oh, have you tried this beauty product? And I'll be like, oh yeah, once or twice. Or like, yeah, I've tried it. Inside, I'm like, oh yes, it's amazing. Do you know what I mean? But I'm scared to show that because I'm worried they're gonna run away screaming. And that's just really sad. I don't know when this exactly started, but it's probably sometime in high school. And I feel like I can always relate things back to high school, you know, because it's such a trying time for everyone. Everyone's trying to figure out who they are. But isn't that weird that like I'm scared or I'm cautious of how excited I am around others that I don't know very well because I'm worried I'm gonna scare them away with my enthusiasm. It's like how, you know, when you get a text from someone and there's that whole thing where it's like, oh, if a guy texts you back, like you gotta wait 5 minutes before, you gotta wait before you reply. And I'm just like, why? Why though? Like, why are we trying to be cool and like pretty much like emotionless when we're excited about something, you know? Like, I've never understood that, and to be honest, I'm gonna throw it out the window. I'm gonna throw it out the window today because there's no reason that I should be holding myself back from being happy, excited. I know it's a little bit of a detour from what we were talking about, but I also had that kind of lightning bolt moment with that too today where I was like, wow. I think kind of like the whole idea of this video is that it's okay to feel the way you feel. We should not be suppressing our emotions, our vibe, our personalities because we're worried about fitting in with other people. I mean, let's be honest, there's that whole saying, your vibe attracts your tribe, and it's so true. This whole video also kind of came to be when I was listening to a interview with Charlie Puth last night, whom, oh my gosh, that man is so talented. I just bought his new album like less than 48 hours ago and I am heavily obsessed. Honestly, I think he's so cool. If you have not listened to his new album called Voice Notes, I would really recommend it. It is pop, but it kind of has like different vibes throughout the album and I love it. And I was listening to him talk about how like 3 of his songs basically make up a story from his life. And I was like, whoa, that's cray. It takes a lot of emotion to put that into song. And when you think about it, artists like him, you know, wear their heart on their sleeve, you know, like you can talk about Taylor Swift being like, oh, she always has boyfriends, blah, 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 blah. But she actually gives her emotions out like how she really feels, you know, like she's not suppressing it. She's, you know, giving off her sadness or her like frustration or her, you know, just aggravatedness to the listener. And I think that is so cool, and if I was musically talented, I would be up in that, but let's be honest, I'm just gonna stay in my lane for now. Definitely not musically talented. What I'm really trying to say is, we're humans, you know, like, we're all related in some way, whether we like to think about it or not, but we are all filled with all these emotions, and the fact that we put up a layer or like a barrier to like block out how we feel because we're scared of what others think, I'm really gonna work on that in myself, because I think it's important that we are unapologetically ourselves. That's the way we're supposed to be. It's really important to get that emotion out and our opinions out, and you know, you'll find the people you're supposed to be with through that. And I know it's a scary thing, but I think even like if we just go baby steps to that direction, it can make a world of a difference. So, you know, who wouldn't want that? Well, everyone, I think that's everything for this video. I'm so happy this video flowed, and I felt like this is what I needed to talk about today. So I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed filming it. And if you want to talk about this more, let me know in the comments. We can have a nice little chat, or, you know, DM me on Instagram or whatever, and we can talk, because I think it's important to have someone to talk to. And if I'm that person for you, then that's awesome. I do not know everything. There's still so much more I need to learn, but I feel like through doing these videos and sparking this kind of conversation, you and I can both learn. So, yes. All right, I'm gonna go. I really hope this video could relate to you in some way. That's really my goal. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.